Good evening and welcome to the Man United agenda on this momentous occasion where moments after Love Island finished, David Ornstein has tweeted that Ten Hag is to stay for the foreseeable future with a contract extension, and Mike Keegan from the Daily Mail has literally just backed this up. So I'm joined tonight by two of my favourite people in Dora and Mr. B who had very different views on this. But because we like happiness, we're going to start with Mr. B. How are you feeling?
I'm delighted. I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to pretend that when you said, let's go and do a stream, I didn't dance around my front room saying, yes. I'm over the moon. Bath time. I am so happy, bro. All right, he might have got the job. He might have kept his job by default. Maybe they can't afford to sack him and hire Brailsford. It's going to cost him too much money. Whatever the reason is, he's got a chance to prove all of those haters and all of those doubters wrong. I'm hearing people saying they're never going to back him. Then that's fine. Don't back him. Stay miserable for the whole of next season. He could get sacked. He could get sacked in December and Southgate gets in. You know what I mean? It could be that, but at the moment he's got his job. He's got the job, and they're talking about a contract extension. I'm so happy, man. I'm so happy.
Can you tell us why you're happy to have him remain?
Do you know what? I maybe it's stubbornness, and maybe I think it's more the fact that I actually run a football team, and things happen that obviously, you know, the other managers, other teams, the opposition they don't know about. You know, 2 seasons ago we had 7 regular players, you know, so injuries do count. Yeah, I understand his formation stank. Hopefully he's going to learn. He's been given a second opportunity now to as I said, it's to prove the doubters wrong. I want him to prove all the doubters wrong. So I'm over the moon, bath time, man. I'm happy. I can't sit here and say that I'm not happy.
Okay, all right. Just before we get to you, Dora, do you mind if I talk to the comments?
Yes.
No problem. Go for it.
All right, we've got Agile B saying, I remember this thumbnail of the video is going to get sacked. Yep.
It's news. We can only report the news. We can only report the news.
All right, we've got Matty Bassett coming in saying good evening. We've got Vincent saying good evening. Guys, I want to know if you're yes or no to this, if you're happy with this or not.
Yeah, that's what we really need to know. That's more what we're looking for. Are you happy that he's staying? Did you want De Zerbi? Did you want Poch? Did you want Tuchel? Come on, let us know, man.
And also, let me know if you think this time next year he's manager. But look, Steph is saying great news. Great news from Tyrone Williams, saying Southgate won't get it, which is great. And he's also saying bye-bye, Sancho. And JR is saying 6 players from the Dutch league incoming. Right, Dora. This is the tweet, just to say that like I'm not making it up or something. He's going to hold negotiations over a contract extension. So he's got a year to run on his contract with an option for 1 more year. And now it looks like that is going to be further extended. So tell me how you're feeling.
Well, I'm not delighted. No, look, I mean, I am, you know, I wasn't convinced by him, especially after this season. We've been playing really poorly for a whole year, you know, calendar year, since, you know, that, you know, Carabao Cup final. I felt that, you know, he massively underperformed. I think that some of the players, or most of the squad, I would say, were guilty as well. But, you know, manager needs to take the accountability as well, and he didn't help himself. But you know what? I'm not going to be a mercenary. I'm not going to be an idiot or a hater. I'm going to back him. He's saying I'm not a hater. I just, you know, bring my opinions, and, you know, in my heart, I haven't, or in my head, I would say, I haven't felt that Ten Hag is a man for a job. But since he's staying, I'm going to back him. I'm not going to all of a sudden go, you know, like some of the people that are having meltdowns on the internet and, you know, campaigning for Ten Hag out. I mean, don't
worry about them, Dora. Just worry.
No, I'm not going to do that.
What's backing him to you?
I mean, look, I'm not going to, after the first defeat, I'm not going to say, oh my God, that's why I wanted him out. No, look, if, until Christmas, until January, we are still playing like shit. He didn't change anything. I'm going to, be how do you say it? I don't want to say I'm going to be Ten Hag out, but I would want him out, right? I would wait certain amounts of time and think about it and make my decision once again. I think it's ludicrous to say, oh, he's instead, but I will never back him. I think that's just dumb. I think we as the fans, we need to back the club. He's here. The club said it, so it is what it is. It's as fans, we need to be fans, right? We need to back that, at least for some certain amount of time. But yeah,
I
I'm
kind of
not like
agree
Mr.
with
B.
that.
Yeah.
I can't agree with that, Dora, which is what I need is like as someone who's been Ten Hag out for a very long time. I'm perfectly fine to back him. I believe that he probably has earned himself a chance by winning a trophy. But what I need to see from him is massive changes in the setup of the team. Like next season, like I don't want this hole in midfield. I don't want us reverting to the football we played at the beginning of the season. Mr.
Agreed.
B, you're agreeing.
Yeah, what 100? Look, BATHTIME. I'm glad he's staying, but I want him to learn. You can't be as stubborn as you were because whatever you were trying didn't work. Whether he got the advice from I know you keep telling that Wilcox told him he's got to change it. Whether or not he did or not, he needs to learn. There's no point in him coming in and doing exactly what he did next season, regardless of who he has in there, because it doesn't work in the Premier League. You can't play 3-1-6. It doesn't work. It's impossible. It's impossible. So if he learns and changes, great. Don't get, I could lose my mind come October. I could be Ten Hag out, but I wanted him to have the opportunity to prove the doubters wrong. That's all.
And I would just love it if we could win our first 2 effing games of the season. That would be a nice change. But let's have a look at the comments and things. And I think this is a really good one from Matty Bassett. I'm Eric out, but Stinty's saying I'll back him. But he has to learn and deliver. And I think even for Ten Hag inners, there has to be a change. We need to play more like we did at the end of the season and not go back to things like Christian Eriksen in a pivot and stuff. Now, this is the next part that I think everyone is going to say is JR says he'll be gone by Christmas. Agile Beast saying happy for the make or break incentive for Ten Hag in his final year. I don't want a huge extension so he becomes expensive stack if results next year are poor. And actually, I'm going to get to this now, and then I'm going to come back to the comments. I still think that this might not be completely final because in the new contract, we're going to see some huge changes for Ten Hag. Less input. He's still going to have input, but less input on decisions. And most important of all, I think that there will be a clause of how much money he is paid if he is sacked, etc., etc. Like I can't imagine that they're going to be in a position where they're going to pay him the full amount of the contract and stuff. Like there must be performance metrics he has to hit, and so on. From what I see of Ten Hag, I think he's quite a proud man, and this new contract will be an enormous loss of control for him, both financially and in terms of the football.
Well, I mean, you say loss of control. Are you talking about the power that he had in regards to choosing players? Is that the control that you're talking about losing, or?
Look, no manager is ever going to accept a contract where they have to pick players and things. What I mean is that input into transfers, all that kind of stuff. Like Ten Hag's a very powerful manager. And I think that now he's going to be more of a coach than a manager with less decisive input into decision making. If he signs the contract, he's still got to sign it.
Yeah, I mean that's it. They could make the contract so impossible for him that he doesn't sign it.
And look, the thing is that Ornstein will have got this from Ten Hag or Ten Hag's people because he is in the strongest position he's been in for the last month or two. The club have decided to keep him, and it gives him like power in any negotiations that are coming up. So it's going to be very interesting to see like how Ten Hag leverages that, because we don't want, you know, they don't want to wait for Southgate. Tuchel didn't want to work under the structure. Frank, De Zerbi, Kieran McKenna, the rest of them weren't seen as ideal candidates. There's just Ten Hag, and that puts him in a very strong position to negotiate a contract. So it's going to be really interesting how much power he gives up and how much he retains. Like, I can't wait to see the details of this contract. But before we get to that, Andrew is a loser. So Andrew's changed his name. Change it back, Andrew. We don't care. All right. You made a prediction. You got it wrong. It happens. Don't worry about it. So Tyrone is saying the names mooted to replace Ten Hag were underwhelming. And also their interviews must have been underwhelming. We saw Tuchel was interviewed.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe again, they've got the rules, or the what's the word? The overall structure of how they want the club run. And maybe Tuchel wasn't interested in that. Maybe he wanted to have his own input.
I think that's the case. Tuchel like kind of withdrew from the job. Is that right, Dora?
Something like that. He walked away in the end.
Yeah. So, and I doubt it's about money or prestige or something like that. I think it's about control. But look, we've got Emma Kay. Sorry, I can't read. Thing is that we're going to go through a lot of changes and probably a lot of issues. So I'd rather have Ten Hag, who's already been through a lot with the club, than a new guy doing it all over again. I think that's actually a really good point.
Yeah, kick out. I just want the trash to get kicked out now.
Sancho, trash.
Yeah, get him out. Get him out.
Rashford.
Sancho, trash.
Rashford.
One season. Yeah, I will keep him. 1 season on, 1 season off. He needs. If he doesn't do it next season, then the chances are he could be gone. But yeah, I'll give him another season. To be fair.
All right. Well, Andrew said Ineos bottled it. No courage in their conviction. Dora, do you have a response to that, or?
We need to wait and see. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I think there is that kind of narrative right now with, people who wanted him out. I think it's too early to say. We will see how he fares out next season.
I mean, do you think, Dora, like, for me, Andrew here is saying that Ineos bottled it. I don't think they have bottled it. I think that they've done everything they can to get a better candidate in, but there just isn't one.
No, but
like things like Barada not being there, my friend Dan, like not everything's in place. And I feel that they've arrived at this situation, especially people like Bruno making noises about transfers, that, the guy won an FA Cup in our best results since Fergie left, in my opinion. He's got to, do you not think that's our best result, Dora, since Ferguson left? Winning the FA Cup against
this season.
I mean, all of them.
No.
What was better?
I feel that Europa League, Mourinho season was better, in my opinion, than this one.
No, I mean the result.
How you mean, like against City, the best victory in the last 10 years?
Yeah.
That's something to think about, honestly. But at first, and from the get-go, I don't feel like it is. But you can check out the comments while I think.
All right. Well, Montreal has popped in. There's lots of comments, obviously. He's saying that Southgate is shit. The only guy I thought had legitimacy in replacing Ten Hag was McKenna, but that horse has left the barn. All right. We've also got Vincent. I'm always interested in Vincent. Thing that shocked me today is that we've let one of our youth players, Forson, walk out the door for free. I know Vincent. I love Forson, but I think I was the only one. JR, hello, JR, saying evolution, not revolution. None of this losing to crap teams at home, being outcoached by crap managers. And Tyrone is saying Ten Hag is a fighter, doesn't give up. His strength of character and determination to prove people wrong is inspiring, but he can't have a say in the anymore. And Steph is saying, looks like the senior players, poster boys, Bruno Rashford, plus some young guns, back to Eric hierarchy. Listen, I don't know if I'd interpret it that way. Dora, yes.
No, I just wanted to ask, like, that's a legit question that you asked me. Do you think just because of that win, and he deserved to stay? Like, I get I was in tears when we won that game. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it wasn't important, but from that one game, okay, we won an FA Cup, we won against City when no one believed in us. Do you feel that warrants him to stay?
No.
Just from that one game?
No. But the thing is, right, is that City, I don't think anyone can disagree. I know Real Madrid win all the cups. City are the best team in the world and have been for quite a long time. I think that result wasn't a sort of Mourinho hit them on the break style performance. I think we honestly deserved to win that game. We created the better chances and we played better. I think it's very, very difficult to say thanks very much for all your hard work, Eric, after delivering that result against the best team in the world. And more so because I think that the key players are on board with him. Like, at no point did I feel the players threw Ten Hag under the bus.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that.
Agreed. To be fair, I agree with that. They didn't look, because they had plenty of opportunity to do it. The Liverpool game, obviously the final, they could have jacked it in. To be fair, so yeah, you're right there. They it's weird. It's weird. Obviously, in squads you have players liking managers and not liking managers, but maybe the majority of maybe before the majority always wanted the manager out. Maybe it's just a minority that wanted him out of the team of players there.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, for me, I'm not beating around the bush. I'd sack him right now if I was there. Like, I think that any of the coaches linked would set up a football team better than Eric Ten Hag. But I understand it's a very difficult climate, as it were, to sack him. But I would not be surprised if Southgate was in charge in October or after the second international break. Like, I think they would have gone for Southgate if he was available. And it's a combination of the Euros, our financial situation, Dan Ashworth not being in, Brada not being in, and all these things that have saved Ten Hag more than the FA Cup result for me.
Yeah, I think a lot of things fell into place to get him to keep his job. Yeah, you're probably right there, BATHTIME. As I said at the beginning of the show, I don't care how he stayed in, he's in.
Do you guys agree with Andrew that we were leaking? Like, I feel that under Ole, especially that last season, we were leaking much more from that locker room than this season.
Yeah.
Like, I know the usuals, like Shaw, Rashford's part of the PR team or agents. I think they kind of leaked the information out of the locker room. Shaw is like, I 100% believe, but I didn't feel that they were so strongly leaking, and it was a disaster in the locker room as it was, for example, under Ole last few months.
To be fair, there were specific leaks coming out all season about training. Like, and I always felt that it came from Varane, to be honest, like, because he's been pretty gobby about a lot of stuff this year. About at the start of the season, he talked about the extra time from the World Cup. I don't know if everyone remembers this. We were playing like 15 minutes extra for the first like month or two. There was all that stuff about concussion and things. The key leaks, right, from the dressing room have always been that the training is incorrect and isn't good enough. But I would suspect that Casemiro, who we also saw a leak from Sofran Amrabat's brother of all people, like refusing to play in the final, or refusing to make himself available when finding he was on the bench. He's off. Like, Varane is off. So maybe that's factored into it. But the big thing for me is Marcus Rashford, because I think any person who comes into Manchester United, the first question they're asked is how they can get the best out of Rashford. And
Poster boy.
Yeah. And I always wondered if that was going to play a part in the England selection, to be perfectly honest, because Southgate obviously hasn't taken him, which that might lead to problems in the future. So I'm not. The only thing that I'm feeling at the moment is I feel that we're just delaying the inevitable, and that this is just like next season is just. I mean, it's just going to be a kind of write-off season because I don't think Ten Hag is the man to take us forward, and I don't think we're going to get the players we want in.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, maybe before, maybe after you do the comments or ask something to Mr. B, but, when Andrew is recounting, those leaks throughout the season, I'm actually, remembering that, and, my whole point gets in the trash. But yeah, you're probably right. There were leaks. But I just feel that, before you had so many players, Maguire, his, even his mom, protecting him. You had the usuals, but I just feel that this season it felt like for maybe 2-3 players there were leaks, maybe much less players. But yeah, Andrew, you're absolutely right. There were leaks.
There were leaks, but what I think's important is Jay-Z's mum once came out on the radio to tell Naz to leave Jay-Z alone. So it's not just Maguire's mum. Hover's mum did the same thing. But also, even though there were leaks and things like that, the key point I think that we tried to make is that we never saw the players give up on the pitch the way they did under Ole and Mourinho for Ten Hag. Or at least I didn't. Like the Crystal Palace game, maybe that's an exception. But Steph is saying we've got 12 likes. My friend Teddy's in the house saying it's great news. It's good there. Andrew is saying Darius sold some balls, bollocks. They were leaking all over the place if you hit your head or something. So Andrew's in a good mood. Right. We have this one here. Luke Shaw came out and said he was only injured because he played under Ten Hag's instructions. Stakes like Shaw must be rooted out and moved on. I feel that is an unfair analysis of what Luke Shaw said.
It's strange because I've heard people obviously kind of with the Tyrone, but I listened to what he said and he didn't blame Ten Hag.
I'd agree with that.
He came off. He didn't train for the week. Ten Hag asked him if he could be trained a day. Ten Hag asked if he could play. But surely this is what the medical staff are for. If he's not available to play, if he can't play, it's not up to Ten Hag to ask him whether Ten Hag asks him or not. If he's not fit to play, but then he said he had a scan and there was nothing or nothing showing. So again, he's just bloody injury prone, man. He's one that needs to go.
I read it more as Luke Shaw kind of deflecting criticism, like why are you playing for England and not for Manchester United? So with the common sort of like, if the manager asks me to play, I'll play. Like, I love this club so much. That's the way that I read it. I don't think it was an implicit criticism of Ten Hag. I think he said it was a combination of him and the medical staff not being up to it. Right. Montreal, I would still sell Rashford in order to spare us some money, invest it on a better team player, etc., etc. Andrew is saying we're making up facts to suit our agenda.
Oh my God, you're so mad today.
I think what he said is that, like, he said it's how we can sell Rashford. I just don't think that that's going to be the question asked to Tuchel and Frank and Southgate. I think it's how can you get the best out of him, because he's been put front and center. It's such an expense and stuff. It's like, because like they'll be, if they want to know how to sell him, they'll be talking to agents. They'll not be talking to managers. They'll be getting like Xavi Pinero or someone in. All right, let's wrap up. We've got Paro Miguel Escobardo here. Big up evening. Dora, are you Latina?
Yo soy croata.
Nice.
Have I said it right?
Yes, you said it perfectly.
Oh, thank you.
UK strains, bold is king.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, obviously. Is there anyone else here? It's just Andrew being mad, basically. She hasn't been fit all season, then miraculously recovered for the Euros, have to get rid of it.
What do you think about that though? That I'm with Tyrone on this. I just feel the timescale just seems to be too close. The fact that he didn't play nothing for us, and he's gonna, because what's gonna happen? He'll play. He's not gonna play 3 games, so he'll play part of the second one. Might start the third one, maybe, but guarantee by the time the season starts for us, he's gonna be injured.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, I think what it is, right, is that I think under normal circumstances, Shaw wouldn't be going to the Euros, but England have no decent left backs, and it's a gamble, basically, like, because Shaw, we all know Shaw's really good when he's fit and he's focused and all this kind of stuff. I don't know who the England left back is. Is it like Ben? Who's the guy at Chelsea?
Ben Chilwell. Did you see him in the 2 games he played?
No, I don't watch England.
Oh my God, bath time.
Is he bad?
He was shit.
He stinks. He's bad.
All right. What are you saying, Dora?
No, I just wanted to add on, and we will probably wrap up, but, I just feel like I smelled this since the middle of the season when we lacked left backs. I felt that he's going to be available for the Euros. Of course, he won't be available for United. He did it in the last past tournaments. He did at Euros 2016. He did it at, I think, World Cup. Was it World Cup in Qatar? Not Qatar. The one before Russia. And I'm like, I don't like, blaming players for something, but this happened so many times in the past, and of course it happened once again. And you cannot tell me that the whole nation of England and Championship, Premier League, any other left back or a player that is going to cover on that left back. So, I mean, you have Lewis Colville from Chelsea as well, who can play Levi Colville, sorry, not Lewis, who can play on that side.
Livramento from Newcastle.
Yeah. Oh, he's English.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know. But there you have it. You have options. How in the hell is this guy only available for the tournaments? Hang
on, Dora.
Kind of players.
So what you're saying to me here is it's not desperation from Southgate. It's that Luke Shaw has deliberately saved himself for the Euros, and he has a track record of doing this with international competition.
The second point, part of it, and the first, and my point of Southgate loves him. He's his favorite. That's why that's why he's calling him up. It is what it is, right? People. I'm one of those people who always says, favorites. When it comes to national teams, of course, the managers are going to call up their, players that have been at the longest at the World Cup, or not World Cup, at the national team. They don't want to bring new players, so they have to once again develop the chemistry between the players. I think that's a good point, but it feels like I don't know. I just feel it stinks from Luke Shaw. In all honesty, it's very suspicious in my opinion, and it happened before, so I don't trust him at all.
I kind of agree. I think Luke Shaw's a really good left back on his day, but those days they seem to be far away now. So I would like to see us just sign a bloody left back that can actually play football. Like Malacia, man. I mean, where's he gone? Like, unreal. Anyway, I think unless either of you have got something to say, I think we'll give our closing statements, which is, for me, I'm unhappy that Ten Hag is staying. I will get behind him if he changes the setup of the team, and I think that he is. I think he's still a dead man walking. Mr. B.
Happy. Happy.
Dora?
I agree with you, Bedtime. As I said before,
you agree with me.
Come on, Mr. B. Not even joke about it. No, look, I said it at the beginning. I'm not really happy with him staying. I feel that he didn't convince me at all. But as I said, I will back him next season. if he once again, stays with his ways, doesn't, develop his team and doesn't change his ways, I'll probably be flip flop. Like, I will once again think that it's he needs to go. So yeah, I'm not really happy, but I will back him, I guess.
All right. Well, that's been our quick show. We're all back tomorrow at 9, and we're meant to be talking about the Euros. But I'm fairly sure Omondi Juma is going to turn it into a celebration stream. Like
Beefy Mario.
Cat.
Beefy Mario, come join us tomorrow. Come join us tomorrow. I know that you're not happy. You inners need to have actual arguments. Well, look, as I said, I gave my reason at the beginning of it, rightly or wrongly. Maybe it's a stupid one, maybe it's a selfish one, but my personal reasons I gave at the beginning of the show. But you people, man, don't stress, man. He's in. It's just chill. And watch, look, just chill. Look, he's still here.
All opinion. Well, Mr. B says that. I've been backstage with Mr. B after games where he's threatened to eat that picture. But look, anyway, I know it's really late. I want to first of all give a shout out to David Ornstein for waiting until Love Island finished before he tweeted. That was extremely appreciated. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll continue the discussion tomorrow. This is mainly just so that you've all got a place to react and say how stupid we all are. So thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, Dora. Thank you, Mr. B.